I guess
I
I guess we had some technical issues, especially Larry, and so we had to start over again for some reason. So we're going to continue talking about
It's all
microwave
my fault.
technology. What? I don't understand why you want to embarrass yourself like that on our hangout.
I'm not embarrassed.
Well, anyway, I would be if I was you, but that's just me. So anyway,
It's a good
continuing
thing
on.
you're not me.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you have to get all flustered over technical issues. It's not a big deal. So, anyway, it's not our doing, but if you want to come on and look like a child, that's your choice. Uh, so, getting back to where we were, I don't know exactly. I know I cut off from the previous broadcast, I think, and you kept going for a while, so I don't really know where you left off with talking about microwave
I
technology.
was just about to wrap it up. I was talking about. I went on and on while my little live sign was on. I kept nattering away, so I don't know if I was talking to absolutely nobody but myself. However, my live light was on, and I was talking about the microwave oven as being part of a kitchen, a standard piece of a kitchen's equipment now, just like the refrigerator and the stove and the dishwasher. And so the microwave kind of fits in there now. And, there's been so many things added to the kitchen, including toaster ovens and hot plates. You've got your little tiny waffle makers that make heart-shaped waffles. And so there are a lot of things that have come along that are also disruptive. However, they're not quite the same technology as the microwave. And so the microwave is, I was saying how it can be used an accessory to your oven so that you can speed things up. I think the thing that most people do with the microwave to speed things up, you whip it in the microwave. If it's a frozen solid rock, you can put it in the microwave, and within minutes, you got something that's pretty much room temperature, partially cooked. However, it's ready to go into the oven for conventional cooking reasons. And how much time do you think that saves? You're a better cook than I am, probably. So, have you ever done that?
Well, definitely, yeah, defrost. It's a useful setting on any microwave, as well as like the popcorn setting, and like popcorn was at one time a real ordeal to. It was a very labor-intensive type of snack to prepare because you had to heat up a stove, or they in the real way back days, they would cook popping corn on a fire, and you'd have to sit there and shake the pot to get the kernels agitating to pop. And now somehow, in a bag, microwave magically pops the popcorn without just the push of a button. So. What I was kind of pointing out with how the technology is super disruptive within our culture is where, yeah, a lot of the labor-intensive preparation of food and beverages was made much, much quicker by the microwave. And so that the point I was getting at was how women's time was freed up by not only the microwave, but the washing machine and all these other modern conveniences, which led many more women to participate in the workforce. And that has really, really changed the way that our whole culture and society operates on a day-to-day basis. The whole idea of sitting down for a family meal is not so much the norm as it used to be. And I think that without the microwave, there's a good chance that we would still be sitting down as a family for regular meals, and that a lot more mothers would basically have no choice but to stay in the home to be able to cook and clean and maintain a happy, healthy home, whereas now that's not really so much a possibility. There's like a little bit of a drawback to having all these modern conveniences is the cost, and with that cost has been a strong motivation for women to want to leave the home and join the workforce and to be able to have money to afford these conveniences. And thus, I think that in general, at least here in North America, I believe that it's true that our health has actually suffered because of these changes. So there isn't as much home cooking going on, which means the meals are less nutritious, like what's prepared in the microwave is likely to be. I think that somehow the process of cooking in the microwave depletes the food of more nutrients, and I think that the foods that are typically put into microwaves for cooking a lot of times aren't really all that full of nutrients to begin with. So it's a lot of frozen stuff and whatnot. And yeah, although they can also be used as a tool for healthy cooking, like say if you're defrosting a roast so that it can be prepared more quickly, it's still more of a healthy meal type of typical cooking scenario. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but definitely the microwave created this disruption where all of a sudden, yeah, I think that I can remember seeing really old throwback commercials where the family would go to the microwave and pull out their TV dinner, and then they would sit in front of the television and eat, and it was like complete turnaround from how traditionally you would sit around the table and have a discussion over a home-cooked meal that often took all day long to prepare. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that we can point to that microwave ovens specifically have changed for modern society. And then I was talking at some point before in the previous microwave hangout that we had set up, I was talking about how Marconi's discovery was like of all these different kind of waves and how it allowed us all these amazing communication devices. And I think that basically all the sound waves and all the waves that are used to broadcast like television and radio and like what we're doing right now, broadcasting on the internet, I think that all of those, and also your internet signals, I think that all of those are a type of microwave, but they're like all of it came from Marconi. It's just different. It's just the difference between the sound waves and the heat waves, and then
I was saying the same thing.
Which?
I was saying the same thing.
Yeah, okay, so we both kind of touched on that. So yeah, definitely the discovery of microwaves and our ability to use whether it's heat waves or sound waves or color waves, I guess, has really allowed for our modern society to flourish with all kinds of devices, from your cell phone to your TV to computers and this Google Hangout that we're on right now. So besides cooking and disrupting the way that we typically eat, those waves and the microwave technology has really, really brought about just about almost every kind of modern communication device that you can think of. I'm sure even faxes operate on some level with microwaves, and it just goes on and on.
Have you ever use the microwave to heat up cooking oil?
No, why?
Well, I guess the microwave, from what I was reading, is a great preheater of things like water, and it boils fat, uh, which would include oil, way faster than when you start it on the stove. Did you know that?
Yeah, I would believe that. That would make a lot of sense. I know that.
So it makes you wonder why places like McDonald's have deep fat fryers rather than microwave fryers. Because wouldn't it make more? Don't you think it would be energy efficient to uh, have you bring up your deep fat fryers up to temperature by using some sort of microwave technology?
I have no idea how their fryers work. They may very well be preheated with microwave technology for all I know. I know nothing about that. I've only
Well,
ever
they're
worked
like,
I've only ever worked in a kitchen as a waitress, and I really did not pay attention to how the fryers worked. And I suppose that's a possibility. I have no idea whatsoever. However, I do realize from cooking fried foods in the microwave, they tend to turn out soggy, not crispy, which is the whole point of deep fat fryers in fast food restaurants is to make things crispy and tasty, I guess.
yeah,
So I've never.
that's what I mean. Is that the microwaves actually? I guess you'd have to have some kind of microwave that you could open up the door, stuff it. It's probably not safe. That's probably why it doesn't exist. Because the deep fat fryers in restaurants are yeah, fired by fire, not by microwaves. That would probably answer that question. I think I just figured it out for myself.
Yeah,
Microwave
that's a
doors you
little
have to
bit.
close.
But I do know from my own experience, and that's why I say that I believe that microwave ovens to deplete nutrition in the food, because you can taste it. You can kind of taste it. It doesn't quite taste the same as when you cook it on a stove or even a fire. Usually produces a little bit better quality of food, and definitely, yeah, if you're heating up some kind of food like French fries in a microwave that are typically deep fried, yeah, they tend to be soggy and not crispy like you expect from a restaurant. So, yeah, I don't think that. However, I do know that microwaves are widely used in restaurants for a lot of different things. I know that uh, Tim Hortons, where I like to get coffee a lot, they used to bake all of their donuts and breads and stuff like that fresh, and I still believe that they do bake some stuff fresh in the store. However, because of staffing issues, because
Oh, look, looks like Trish dropped off again. Uh, so I think I know what she was going to say about the microwaves being used in fancy restaurants. I was thinking about the same thing because when we just started this hangout on disruptive technology for today, I was thinking about how I've been to some pretty high class restaurants, and the chefs were actually using microwaves to preheat certain foods and then putting them. And everybody thought they were getting some real fancy, high-priced meal. The chefs actually put these fancy plates into a microwave and then bring it out, put it on the fancy plate, dress it, and it's not. It's prepared in a microwave in your real high class restaurants. I was just, before you disappeared there, I kind of finished your thought as to, I think, what you were going to say.
Well, yeah, I was just talking about how I know that Tim Hortons used to hire bakers that would work the night shift and would have freshly baked donuts there in the morning, and now I have been informed that they're actually, all of their baked goods come in frozen and they are reheated probably in microwaves to and then put on the shelf as fresh. The coffee's fresh, though. I know that. But apparently the donuts no longer are. But at one time, they definitely were. And I'm quite certain that the reason that they made that change, because obviously the quality is not going to be as good as freshly baked, but the reason that they likely made the change was in order to be able to have consistency throughout their franchise because of staffing issues where they were having a difficult time hiring and keeping bakers around that would work the night shift and do a good job of baking the donuts. And so I think that the quality from store to store was probably not equal based on whoever was baking the donuts would determine the quality of the baked goods. And so in order to maintain consistency from franchise to franchise, they switched to reheating their baked goods rather than baking fresh. So it's kind of unfortunate.
Did you know in 1994 I applied to be a baker at Tim Hortons?
Yeah, I didn't know that. However, I guarantee you by 2004 that position no longer existed at Tim Hortons.
Yeah. I think they killed the position once they got my application.
No, I don't think so, but yeah, definitely. It used to be actually a reasonably high-paid job to be a baker at Tim Hortons. I think you even got benefits and stuff, and now it's just all the staff there is pretty much either high school kids or immigrants from other countries, or it's a minimum wage job of reheating food and serving fresh, delicious coffee. It's not a very skilled position. There's no skilled positions other than manager in those stores now, whereas it used to be they had actual bakers. And anybody that's worked in a bakery at a grocery store or in a big industrial bakery or any kind realizes that it is a skill being able to bake. There's a lot of variables to consider when baking anything. Like just being a baker at home, I realize that sea level plays a role, humidity plays a role in how your stuff bakes. You have to know some stuff to do a good job baking. It's not as simple as just following a recipe because you have to take into consideration where you're located and what the climate or weather is like. And it's a skill. It's definitely a skill, and it's unfortunate, but yeah, a lot of those skilled type positions don't exist anymore. So
I wonder if the microwaves actually, not only are they a disruptive technology, but from what you're saying about Tim Hortons, apparently they actually might have caused some people to be out of work.
I don't know. I wouldn't say the microwave is so much to blame, but I would say that it was more the lack of consistency. There's probably more the people, because of course as humans we make mistakes, right? So if you screw up a batch of donuts, then it kind of reflects badly on the whole corporation. So it's like a big giant corporation with hundreds of stores all over the country and the world even, and so yeah, they want to be sure that at every location you get the same experience. So I think it has more to do with that than the actual microwave. However, without the microwave, it would be very difficult to say, okay, we're getting rid of our bakers and we're just going to reheat all our stuff in ovens. I don't know, that would probably be really not very cost effective, because obviously microwaves are far, far, far more efficient than a convection
Unless
oven
you're using,
or a gas oven.
unless you're using our solar heat collector for an oven, which can be done. I knew I'd bring King Sunshine Solar Systems into the hangout today.
Well,
yes,
we have discussed the potential of using the Fresnel lens to make ovens. However, my personal opinion, and I think the marketplace would agree, that even in third world countries where they're still cooking with fire, they would prefer to have a modern oven powered by electricity than to use our Fresnel lens to bake their bread. What I was talking about, all the variables that play into proper baking and having a successful bake.
oh, it looks like we might have lost Trish again. I think I was going to say that yeah, by having you could have robots actually, if there was issues with any kind of operation where they're using or having to get rid of bakers to get their product to the customer. If the bakers were inconsistent, you can always use robots. Robots can cook things pretty well, and I actually think a lot of businesses are actually using that robotic technology in their process now. Oh, it looks like I'm on and Trisha's gone. So, or maybe she's coming on. I'm not sure. I don't hear anything right now. So I think what we're going to do, it's 11:03 here in Mountain Standard Time, and I think we've kind of we've talked about microwave ovens quite enough tonight, and I think we've covered pretty much all the information of why it's a disruptive technology. So, hi Trish. I was just saying that I was pretty much kind of wrapping up because we keep on having problems with our signals for some reason, and so it's already 11 o'clock. We blew, I don't know how many minutes we blew trying to get back on, but maybe we shouldn't be talking about microwave ovens, that it's some kind of sign, because they're not as disruptive a technology as something like advanced robotics or, cell phones.
Well, at the time when they were new, they certainly did cause quite the disruption. At this current point, they're just a mainstay of technology. They're not really disrupting technology at this point, and they probably won't really do that much to disrupt technology in the future. However, the discovery that Marconi made of microwaves, of all their different varieties, is really, really a huge and integral part of our modern convenient lifestyles that we have today, especially in North America. And so, yeah, definitely at their time, at the beginning of their use, they were definitely a disruptive technology. However, at the current time, they're not really one of the disruptive technologies that currently is affecting how we live significantly. But throughout the history of microwaves, they have definitely caused some major changes to how we work and live and function as a human society. So, did you have any closing thoughts on microwave technology?
I think we've covered a lot of it, and I think it's also so vast that it was really it was really smart that we started talking about Guillermo Marconi, just because it all started with that dude, pretty much, like the electric telegraph. Like, you think back to what he had for tools and where we are today. I think the world owes a debt of gratitude to that guy, because if it wasn't for Marconi, we wouldn't have hoagies.
Well, I tend not to look at things that way. I think that had Marconi if something had happened to him, somebody else would have come across the technology, because those ideas, they're out there, and once they're out there, someone grabs onto them and runs with them. And so, had it not been Marconi, somebody else would have made those discoveries. But that's my personal opinion. But thankfully, he made them when he did, and that was what was meant to be. So that's what happened, and I'm looking forward to continuing with our series on disruptive technology tomorrow, and we'll have another fascinating technology to discuss, either from the past, present, or future. Not too sure what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, but I have got to get some sleep because I have got to wake up early in the morning as usual. And so with that, I will say goodnight, and if I don't see you in the future, I will see you in the pasture, where I will be at 6 a.m. or on tomorrow's Hangout, or wherever the heck I am. I will see you there, and I just want everybody out there to know that I truly believe that as human beings, we can be, do, and have anything that we want in this world, or we can have everything that we want. And I choose everything, and I hope that you will too, because you can. Right, Larry?
Right on.
All
Goodbye,
right.
everybody.
Everybody. Good night.
Good morning. Good night.
Bye.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.